Picture this: a GM's phone rings, signaling a blockbuster trade that could reshape their franchise. It's a scene played out countless times in NBA front offices. In the past decade, teams have traded away over 50 future first-round picks, more than 1.5 entire drafts worth of potential stars for immediate success. But not all gambles pay off. We've identified 6 trades that not only failed to deliver championships, but sent franchises back years. From all-stars struggling in new systems to defensive anchors sinking salary caps, these deals prove that in the high-stakes world of NBA trades, the house doesn't always win. It's draft night 2022, and the Minnesota Timberwolves just dropped a bombshell. They've traded away half their future for Rudy Gobert, the French giant known for his defensive prowess. But as the dust settled, fans and analysts alike were left scratching their heads. 5 first-round picks for a defensive specialist? The Wolves were betting big on Gobert to fix their leaky defense, which had struggled for years. But would it pay off? As time passed, the cracks in this grand plan began to show. Gobert's fit alongside Karl Anthony Towns was like trying to fit a giraffe into a phone booth. The team's offense, which had been their calling card, suddenly looked out of sync. The results were less than stellar. The on-court struggles were compounded by the financial implications. Gobert's massive contract, combined with the loss of those precious draft picks, left the Timberwolves in a bind. Their flexibility to make moves and improve the team? Gone faster than a LeBron James fast break. Fast forward to today, and the Timberwolves' gamble hasn't exactly paid off as expected. They're not terrible, but they're far from the contenders they'd hoped to be. It's a stark reminder that in the NBA, even the most promising trades can backfire spectacularly. It's July 2019, and the Houston Rockets are reeling. Another playoff elimination by the Warriors has left them desperate for answers. Enter Russell Westbrook, the high-octane MVP they believe will propel them past their Golden State nemesis. But Houston was about to learn a harsh lesson. Sometimes the most explosive combinations backfire. Pairing Westbrook with James Harden looked like a slam dunk on paper. 2 MVP-caliber guards, both capable of dominating games single-handedly. What could go wrong? As it turns out, everything. The Rockets' offensive efficiency plummeted from 115.5 to 112.4 with Westbrook in the mix. It was like watching a Ferrari stuck in rush-hour traffic. All that power, but nowhere to use it. This statistical nosedive mirrored the duo's on-court chemistry, which was as smooth as oil and water. Both players were used to having the ball, and suddenly they were forced to share. To accommodate Westbrook, the Rockets abandoned their successful small ball strategy, trading Capella for Covington. When they faced the Lakers in the playoffs, it was a mismatch. Westbrook's shooting woes were glaring, hitting only 24.2% of his threes. The Rockets' grand experiment fizzled out in just 5 games. In 2016, the Orlando Magic were desperate for defensive stability. Their quest for a rim protector led them to Serge Ibaka, the shot-blocking sensation from the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Magic's front office, led by GM Rob Hennigan, made a bold move that would haunt them for years to come. To land Ibaka, Orlando sent Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova, and the rights to Domantas Sabonis to OKC. It was a decision that left fans and players alike scratching their heads. The locker room buzz quickly turned from excitement to dismay as Ibaka's performance took a nosedive in Florida. Ibaka's last season with the Thunder had shown signs of decline, but the Magic ignored the warning signs. His blocks per game plummeted from 3.0 to 1.6, leaving Orlando's defensive woes as glaring as ever. The Magic's gamble had backfired spectacularly. Meanwhile, Oladipo and Sabonis hit their stride. Oladipo transformed into a 23-point-per-game scorer with the Pacers, while Sabonis became a double-double machine, averaging 19 points and 12 rebounds. As time passed, the trade looked less like a calculated risk and more like a highway robbery, a cautionary tale of NBA front office mishaps. The Windy City was buzzing with anticipation. Bulls fans were dreaming big as their team set its sights on Nikola Vucevic, the all-star center they believed would launch them into contention. In March 2021, Chicago went all in, trading away Wendell Carter Jr. and 2 first-round picks. But as the season unfolded, that excitement turned into worry. Vucevic's arrival was supposed to be a game-changer. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. His offensive efficiency took a nosedive, especially from beyond the arc. That sweet 40% three-stroke from Orlando, it plummeted to a chilly 31.4% in Chicago. Suddenly, the Bulls' shiny new toy wasn't looking so polished. Meanwhile, Carter Jr. blossomed in Florida, averaging 15 points and 10.5 rebounds. The Bulls' front office was sweating. Had they traded away a future star for a fading one? The pain didn't stop there. Those first-round picks, one turned into Franz Wagner, a rising star, the other still hangs over Chicago's head like a cloud storm. The trade left the Bulls in a predicament. They'd mortgage their future for a present that wasn't living up to the hype. With limited flexibility and a center who didn't quite fit their defensive needs, Chicago found itself in NBA purgatory. Not good enough to contend, not bad enough to rebuild. Picture this: Philadelphia buzzing with excitement, fans dreaming of championship parades, and headlines screaming about a new superstar duo. James Harden's arrival in February 2022 promised to change everything for the 76ers. But as the dust settled, one question loomed large. Had they just made the biggest mistake of the decade? The 76ers went all in, shipping off Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and multiple first-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets. Expectations soared higher than the Liberty Bell, but reality hit harder than a Joel Embiid block. Harden's impact fell flat. His scoring touch, once electric in Houston, fizzled in Philly. From a jaw-dropping 36.1 points per game in his Rockets' prime, Harden's output plummeted to 21.0 in his first full season with the 76ers. His player efficiency rating nosedived from 34.3 to 23.1, shocking for a former MVP. The playoffs only magnified the struggles. Hayden's meager 19.8 points per game on 41.2% shooting in the 2023 postseason left the 76ers watching the conference finals from home yet again. As time passed, the trade's true cost became clear. Those 2 first-round picks? Gone. Curry's depth? Vanished. And the 76ers championship window? Closing faster than a Philly cheesesteak stop at midnight. Picture the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, bright lights, red carpets, and stars aligning. That's how it felt when the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook in 2021. LeBron, AD, and now Russ? It was supposed to be a blockbuster hit. Instead, it turned into a box office bomb. Westbrook's Lakers stint was a statistical disaster. His 29.7% three-point shooting was painful to watch, especially for a $44 million player. His overall performance was a far cry from his MVP days, with declining points per game and plummeting efficiency. On the court, it was like watching a sitcom where the lead actors had zero chemistry. The Lakers' offense crumbled with Westbrook at the helm, dropping 3.5 points per 100 possessions. LeBron, AD, and Russ looked more like strangers than co-stars, fumbling through scenes with no rhythm or timing. Defensively, Westbrook's gambling for steals left the Lakers exposed. Their once championship-caliber defense became a shadow of its former self, with their defensive rating suffering as a result. The Lakers' grand experiment had turned into a cautionary tale, proving that sometimes, even in Hollywood, you can't just throw stars together and expect magic. As we reflect on these NBA trades gone wrong, a common thread emerges. Star power often blinds teams to roster fit and long-term stability. The Oklahoma City Thunder's recent success, built through the draft and shrewd sightings, contrasts sharply with the Brooklyn Nets' gamble on aging stars. So, as the next blockbuster trade looms, will NBA front offices learn from these costly missteps? The Harden trade taught us chemistry matters. The Westbrook deal showed the dangers of chasing past glory. And the Nets saga? It's a stark reminder that mortgaging the future rarely pays off. As fans, we can only hope that these lessons guide tomorrow's decisions. In the high-stakes game of NBA trades, sometimes the boldest move is knowing when to fold. Are we destined to watch history repeat itself, or will teams finally prioritize sustainable success?